Caitlin Clark isn't injured. She's not on rest. She's just gone. No prior notice, no official explanation. One of the WNBA's biggest rookie sensations has been quietly pulled from the spotlight, and fans aren't taking it lightly. But what really sent shockwaves through the league was what came next. As soon as the news broke, players like Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull didn't hold back. Their reactions weren't subtle. This was a direct call-out, and what they exposed could upend the entire league. This situation isn't just about a star player missing a game. It's about control, suppression, and a system that seems to be silencing its own rising talent. When you see what's reportedly happening behind closed doors, it might completely change how you view the WNBA. Caitlin Clark hasn't just stepped away, she's effectively disappeared. There's no injury report, no personal time announcement, just silence, and fans are sounding the alarm. It all began subtly. First, her name was missing from the starting lineup. Then she wasn't seen in warm-ups. No updates from the team, no word from the league. For a player who's been pivotal in boosting viewership, ticket sales, and national attention, the sudden absence felt off. Naturally, the speculation began. Was it load management, disciplinary action? Yet insiders said none of those explanations made sense. Clark hadn't broken any rules, missed practices, or declined in performance. In fact, she was leading in scoring, assists, and public engagement. So why was she benched? Whispers began to surface. Alleged internal tensions between Clark and league officials. Reports hinted that her bold personality, candid post-game comments, and massive online presence may have ruffled feathers at the top. She wasn't just making waves on the court. She was becoming a powerful voice, and that made some people uncomfortable. According to one rumored incident, Clark had voiced criticism of the league's marketing tactics in a private meeting, calling them disconnected from the real fan base. Not long after, her minutes were reduced. Days later, she was benched. Now she's gone from the media cycle completely. No interviews, no appearances, no explanations, just blackout. But if the league thought people wouldn't notice, they underestimated her fan base. The internet erupted. Hashtags like #SuarezClark began trending. Comments flooded in. Even NBA players chimed in, labeling the decision as calculated and harmful to the sport. And then came Sophie Cunningham. In a post-game interview, she didn't sugarcoat it. You don't sideline your biggest star unless you're scared of what she represents. That one quote lit a fire online, echoing across social media. Sophie took it even further, speaking out on her podcast, in team meetings, and during press coverage. She called it what she believed it was: retaliation, a power move to keep outspoken, players in check. She said what many others were too afraid to admit. This wasn't about basketball. Her courage inspired a wave of support. Hashtags like the Free Clark and Stand With Sophie exploded. Then Lexi Hull entered the conversation. She didn't release a statement. She walked straight into the press room after practice, looked straight into the camera, and said, "If this is how they treat Caitlin Clark, what chance do the rest of us have?" That moment hit hard, and the conversation around fairness, leadership, and player voice in the WNBA hasn't stopped since. No sugarcoating, no scripted PR, just a raw truth bomb that dropped like a hammer, shook the room, and left the league scrambling. That single moment went viral, not just in WNBA circles, but across the entire sports world. Suddenly, everyone, from ESPN analysts to YouTube commentators, was asking the same thing. What's really going on behind the scenes in the WNBA? But Lexi wasn't done. Shortly after, she posted a black and white photo of her with Caitlin. No caption, just one word: loyalty. That one word lit a firestorm of speculation. Was she calling out teammates, management, or hinting at deeper fractures behind closed doors? No one could say for sure, but no one could ignore it either. Sources claim Lexi has been one of the loudest voices in team meetings since this started. Some reports say she directly challenged coaches, demanding real answers about why the league's biggest rookie, the one packing arenas and driving record viewership, was suddenly nowhere to be seen. Supposedly, several teammates backed her up. Whispers of a split locker room hit the headlines overnight, and then came the bigger bombshell. Lexi allegedly revealed that players across multiple teams have been quietly speaking to each other off the record, pressured to stay silent, but refusing to stay quiet much longer. She's even rumored to be rallying a group of younger players fed up with the outdated power dynamics and ready to challenge the system, no matter the risk. Then came the tweets, cryptic, but cutting. Lexi posted, then quickly deleted. If you want to build a legacy, stop silencing the ones who create it. Fans caught it instantly. Screenshots spread like wildfire across Reddit, TikTok, and Instagram. Some took it as a direct shot at WNBA executives. Others thought it was aimed at certain media outlets downplaying the controversy. Either way, one thing was clear: Lexi wasn't backing down. With Sophie and Lexi standing united, it no longer looked like just a player dispute. It looked like a full-on resistance. And fans weren't just watching from the sidelines, they were in the fight. The second these two spoke out, the internet went into overdrive. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, Instagram, hashtags like #Justice4Clark, #Free Caitlyn, and #Stop Silencing Stars shot to the top of trending charts. Sports forums flooded. WNBA's official posts were bombarded with furious comments. Within 24 hours, the story exploded into something the league could no longer brush off. Fans became detectives. They started pulling receipts, highlight clips, press quotes, game stats. Some showed how Caitlyn's playing time dropped, despite consistently strong performances. Others caught refs ignoring clear fouls against her. Even the WNBA's own social accounts had noticeably cut back on promoting her. And after 2 days of complete silence, the WNBA finally responded. But the response? A vague, tone-deaf statement that only made things worse. No mention of Caitlyn. No address of the controversy. Just a sanitized explanation. Strategic rotation. And a tired line asking fans to trust the process. The backlash was immediate. Fans weren't buying it. Journalists weren't buying it, and players definitely weren't buying it. The generic corporate tone of the message only confirmed suspicions. This wasn't transparency, it was damage control, a cover-up. Sophie fired back with nothing but a simple emoji on Twitter. No caption needed. Fans ate it up. Thousands of likes in minutes. Lexi? She reposted a clip of the league's statement being read aloud on air with the caption, "So we're just pretending this is normal now?" Her sarcasm was brutal, and fans loved it. Even veteran voices started chiming in. One former WNBA player tweeted, "You don't bench your league's top rookie for rotation? Something's off." And then, the numbers started to shift. Fast sales for Caitlyn's jersey reportedly plummeted overnight. Fans began returning tickets to games she wouldn't play. Cities that had been packed out suddenly had empty seats. YouTube highlight reels filled with comments like, "She was the eye. Only reason I watched. Sponsors noticed too." According to leaks, at least 2 major brands privately contacted the league, demanding clarity or threatening to pull support altogether. And still, the WNBA stayed quiet. No new statements, no follow-up interviews, no apologies, just silence. And behind-the-scenes scrambling while the league's reputation burned on social media. But here's what they didn't expect. When you try to silence one voice, you awaken a dozen more. Behind locker room doors, alliances started forming. Players began organizing, not just reacting. There was no more pretending. Locker rooms grew tense. Friends stopped talking. Teammates who used to laugh together now exchanged guarded looks, avoided tough conversations, questioned loyalties. What started as a controversy has now become something much bigger, a movement.